5 things to know about emerging US-Taliban peace deal. The United States and the Taliban are on the verge of signing what would be a historic agreement aimed at winding down America's longest war, potentially fulfilling one of President Trump's key promises. But first comes a week-long test. A 7-day reduction in violence period started Friday afternoon Washington time, midnight Saturday Afghanistan time. The initial agreement to reduce violence is aimed at building confidence ahead of signing a broader peace agreement. This week is not a ceasefire. The reduction in violence agreement is specifically not being billed as a ceasefire, which the Taliban rejected. But the United States, the Taliban and Afghan government forces are expected to largely end all offensive operations throughout the country. The United States has not spelled out all the metrics being used to measure the success of the reduction in violence period, though a senior administration official told reporters in Germany this month that the terms were very specific. For the Taliban, that reportedly includes ending roadside bombings, suicide attacks and rocket strikes. Potential spoilers abound. One key question throughout the peace talks has been whether the Taliban leaders negotiating in Doha can keep all the elements of their group in line once a deal is in place. In addition to questions about whether all Taliban fighters will adhere to the deal, there are also concerns that an extremist group such as ISIS could try to play spoiler by staging an attack and blaming it on the Taliban. Alternatively, there are concerns Taliban fighters could try to pin one of their attacks on another group. The US isn't ready for a full withdrawal yet. The Pentagon hasn't said whether the United States agreed to withdraw all troops, but officials have talked about keeping a counter-terrorism force there for the time being. The 12,000 or so US troops in Afghanistan right now have 2 missions: helping Afghan forces fight the Taliban and conducting counter-terrorism operations against al-Qaeda and ISIS. Defense officials, including Defense Secretary Mark Esper, have said they believe 8,600 troops are sufficient to carry on the counter-terrorism mission. Even getting to that number, Esper has said, will happen over time. The hardest part is yet to come. Skeptics of the Trump administration's peace efforts have long said the most difficult part will be intra-Afghan talks. It's also the most critical part, they say, because peace won't happen without political reconciliation in Afghanistan. The Taliban has previously resisted talks with the Afghan government, which it sees as a puppet of the United States. Political turmoil within the Afghan government could also complicate talks by giving Afghan President Ashraf Ghani a weakened hand. Lawmakers remain skeptical. Given the difficulties of intra-Afghan talks and questions about the Taliban's trustworthiness, lawmakers are cautioning against declaring the end of the Afghanistan war quite yet. As the Trump administration appeared on the cusp of the deal announced Friday, lawmakers in both parties told The Hill that peace was still a long way off.